Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Here you shall find lots of random reflections, like video reflection vlog things from me, just about topics that are on my mind, things that we go through as young people. Check out my introduction video. I will link that in the description box as well. And yeah, enjoy. So I've got some exciting news for you. I'm expecting, yes, we're expecting baby number 2. But yeah, anyway, don't forget to check out my blog, Peace in the Promise. It's peaceinthepromise.wordpress.com. I'll put the link in the description box. But yeah, we're expecting our next baby. I'm super excited. I've got another blog post coming out about it, if it's not already out. But yeah, I'm so pumped. Anyway, so I was going to talk about marriage and how not just marriage, but I was going to talk about how, you know, sometimes we can have these expectations and then when you get to where you're actually wanting to be, then expectations and reality don't exactly match up. So I was going to discuss this in terms of, you know, sometimes when you think, oh, when I get a boyfriend or when I get married, this and this and this will happen. So when I get married, I'll never be lonely. When I get married, I'll, you know, never desire someone else, never be tempted to look at anyone else. When I get married, I will never, like, I won't feel lustful. When I get married, this will never happen. This, you know what I mean? You just assume that when you get married, these things that you might struggle with now will suddenly go away. So people, I know that's a popular thing. It's a popular thing, I think, amongst, like, there's a joke that I saw, like, in the Christian community, Christian memeing community, and it's talking about how, like, a lot of, this boy is throwing a banana. A lot of young adult Christians, how they assume that, oh, I'm feeling like I really want to have sex, but I'm trying to honor God and not, you know, have sex before marriage. So they're like, I know, well, let's just get married. Then that will fix all of my problems, when really that desire, like, okay, everyone has that desire, I get, well, most people have that desire, but let's say you're also amongst that, you're battling with, like, lust, you're battling with all these other things, and you think that, okay, just getting married is going to solve that problem. Heck no. If you're struggling with, like, let's say a pornography addiction, or just like all these, you know, I guess these other things, if you're struggling with other things and you think that it's going to be solved through marriage, then you're very incorrect. I think there's a common misconception that, okay, marriage is just going to evaporate all these things because this person will now complete me and they'll satisfy all my desires, and, you know. Ooh. Okay, so my baby's going to be chilling. Don't mind his hair if you can see it. He hasn't had a bath yet. Yeah, that's why, yeah, so things like, let's say things like lust. Let's say you think that your partner will satisfy all your desires, but because you're still struggling with that bondage of lust, or because you're still struggling with that stronghold, then even your partner will not satisfy you. It doesn't matter how many times you do it, doesn't matter how many, whatever they do, whatever, it's not going to satisfy you, because lust cannot be satisfied. It's something that has to be, like, broken by Christ, and God has to help you through that. So a lot of people make that mistake and they think, oh, if I get married then I just won't feel lustful. That's how a lot of people get into infidelity, adultery, watching pornography when they're married, and doing all this stuff behind the scenes, doing stuff in secret, because they're not satisfied. Don't mind my kid. Because they're not satisfied, because lust is it's like a well, like an empty pit that just has holes in it, that you're just trying to fill it up with all this stuff, and it will never be filled unless Jesus comes in and sorts all that out. So I always say, like, use that time before you're married or whatever to really work on yourself. I'm not saying that by working on yourself you're going to be perfect when you're married, but it really helps you to gain. He just hustled the pawpaw. But it helps you to gain that insight. It helps you to gain that perspective and help work and develop in the area of self-control. It helps you work in developing in that. It helps you identify your weaknesses, identify areas in which you're struggling, rather than trying to rush through the process or rush. I just need to get married. You're going to be even more, you're going to see how broken you are when you get married. I've heard people describe it, and it's so true, as when you get married, It's like a mirror is put in front of you. All of your insecurities, all of your struggles, all of your weakness, they're all exposed. And you're like, hey, was I really like that? And you will see your partner's ones as well. And you'll be like, well, they really like that. So it's not something to be like, oh, be scared. But it's like, no, this is a really good time if you are not married yet and you're planning to get married, to really identify, okay, what weaknesses do I have? How can I work on these? God, really help me and work on these so that they are not an issue when I get married, you know? Yeah, because you want to work on this stuff so you don't drag someone else through the pain. You know, let's say if you're struggling with lust and then you end up cheating as a result of that because you've not resolved those issues, you know? So yeah, just work on yourself. And let's say insecurity is a big one. That's something that I identified. I never saw myself as being an insecure person. I never thought that I was self-conscious or anything. But when I got married, I was like what? I'm insecure, like all this stuff. Like, and I realized a lot of the decisions that I was making, a lot of the things I was saying, a lot of the fears that I had were based on insecurity because I placed my security in other things aside from God. So who knows, like, you know, the things of this earth, they fade away. So my security was in things that faded away. So that's why I was insecure. But when you put your security in God and your trust in God, then you are secure always. It's not like, bam, poof, it happens overnight. But when you keep telling yourself that and teaching yourself that, reminding you that God is my security, then you know that you cannot be insecure when you're with Him and when you're in Him. So yeah, that's just a short, brief encouragement. I hope that made sense. But it's just an encouragement to make the most of every season that you're in. Try not to jump out of it so quickly because you're bored or I'm lonely, because that's another thing. So when some people get married and they assume, okay, now this is going to cure my loneliness. Heck no, the first year of my marriage I felt hecka lonely, to be honest. I stopped working because God told me to leave my job. I got pregnant, then I stopped working. I was home like most of the day and my husband works long hours, so I was like, and then by the time he came home, like he'd eat and then he'd be tired and he'd go to sleep, and I'm like, hello. I really had to realize, and it would upset me. I'm like, but we never talk about it. Work through how we can communicate better and all of that, but I had to learn in that time that my husband is not going to feel that loneliness. He's not going to feel that void of loneliness. If I was lonely before, like, He's not going to solve it. Only God can. So I had to learn to be secure and content with being with God, spending time with God, busying myself in other areas rather than just being like, oh my gosh, He has to be my source. He's going to fill me up and I'll never feel lonely again. No, there are going to be times where you'll be annoyed with them and you want to spend time away from them, you know? And that's healthy. It's alright to spend time away from your spouse. But yeah, so think about the things that you can work on. If you don't know, I always ask God. I'm like, God, reveal to me what is it that I need to work on. It's a scary prayer because then literally, like, I pray that and then within a week or within like the next day, I just start seeing all these things in myself and I'm like, why are all these things being revealed? And God's like, you asked me to reveal it so I can help you with them. So I'm like, okay, thanks God. But He doesn't leave you there. He doesn't just tell you all your these things. He's like, hey, look, these are areas I want to help you through. And He will combat those lies with truth. And that's the way to do it. You combat the lies with truth. That's where you start. You say, God, help me, reveal to me any area I need to work on. And then He might reveal the area to you. Then you read the word concerning that area and you combat whatever it is with truth. So if you're feeling lonely, it's like, no, God is with me always, you know. And if you're feeling, I guess, maybe if you're feeling lustful, it's like, okay, I know that these temptations cannot, like, God will never allow me to get tested more than I can bear. I know that other believers in the world are being tempted with this as well and tested with this. I know I'm not alone in this. And I know that God also says, the word says to flee sexual immorality in all of its forms. So how can I flee this? What boundaries can I put in place to flee this thing? You know, so it's just about being faith-filled and actually being practical about it as well. So I hope this has made sense. But it's just like literally just a random thing that came to my mind. Because I don't want people thinking that, oh, getting into a relationship will fix everything, doing this will fix everything, because I know plenty of people that have gotten into a relationship and they ain't happy, or they've gotten into a relationship because they're so sad by themselves and they're still sad in a relationship. They've gotten into a relationship because they're like, I'm so lonely, and they're still lonely in the relationship. They've gotten into a relationship because, oh, XYZ, but they still feel that same way in the relationship because they've not dealt with the core issue. Only Jesus can solve those things, and it's a form of idolatry when you assume that someone else can save you of these things, you know. You need to go to Jesus. He's the oh, Papa. Where did you put the papa? Papa. Eh? Where is it? Papa. it for me. Papa. Where is it? Yeah, Jesus is the only one that can heal you and that can free you from these things. Not man, not your boyfriend, not your job, not whatever. Only God. So I hope that's an encouragement. That's something that I, someone might have told that to me, but I don't think I really understood it until I got married, I just kind of, and I didn't even think that I would have that mindset of like, oh, he's gonna fix everything. But I actually had that mentality, not necessarily saying it out loud like he will fix everything, but I came into it, and then let's say if I felt lonely or if I felt a certain way, I'm like, but why isn't he meeting my need? Why isn't he with me all the time? Or why isn't he coming home early? Why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he doing that? And it always became about why isn't he fulfilling my needs, when Jesus is like, hold up, I'm the one to fulfill your needs. I'm the one to fill those voids, because man cannot do what God can do. Man cannot be God. Like they literally cannot. They suck at being God, So, and it's also unfair to place those expectations on another human being. Yeah. So that's all. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to watch my previous videos, my other videos, and subscribe to my blog, peaceinthepromise.wordpress.com, and yeah. Alright, until next time, peace! This guy's poo. Damn! Are you gonna change your own nappy? Whew! Bless the Lord. I want to feel something happy. I am pregnant. Yuck, I hate that word. I am expecting. I am with child. What was I going to add to this? I think that's all. What was I going to say? Lost my train of thought. Those voids and the issues. You want to come out? Okay. Peace. Can you still see me?